Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Michael again. Today we're going to talk about homelessness. And of course, this is one of those topics that I have a lot of experience at. And it was unfortunate that it happened, but it did happen. But lucky for me, I was really blessed to have children. Okay, my parents were already passed and everything else, but it's one of those things that is very hard to recover from because it kind of reflects your worth in life. And at my age, it's an issue to where it's almost like a double thing, but I'm glad it happened to me, for me, because for me it creates a situation to where now I really have to get off my duff and achieve. But I had an issue a little while ago with somebody that I was helping out of their homeless issue, and this person really was kind of ungrateful, but it was a problem for me. Just getting over it right now. But this person said something one time, and it was really a way that I can say, well, I kind of forgive the person. I didn't really have anything happen to me physically. I got my car stolen. But no big deal. I got everything back, got the car back, everything else. It might turn out in my favor. I don't know. It's not over yet. But the issue is this person wrote down on this thing about hopelessness because I did ask about it. And I said to myself, well, this person is here with me. It's a female. But the issue was she wrote down, homelessness is something I would never wish on my worst enemy. It can be a life-altering as it tears apart families, friendships, and relationships. I agree 100% because when I was homeless, it was devastating, because it was bad enough already being black in a country where even the wealthiest people are against you. This created a sub-level to where I was even beneath, just being hated because of my color. It was really worse. Now, it's not just your color, it's the fact that you don't have any money. And, the things that happened to me through life, the homelessness was really not an issue, except for the fact that the way people treated me, and I began to see it. I've never treated people like this, and I would hope that nobody does. But in this instance, I've pinpointed a few things, and I'm going to try to go over that right quickly. But remember, you should turn this off. Because these are the reasons why I'm even doing this again, is because people like you don't really care. And this is why these things are going to happen. And as you can tell, this guy, Donald Trump, I was just looking at the pictures of all of the world leaders. And I noticed that President Obama, this guy, pretty much everybody liked him. I know the Jewish guy didn't like him. I know Putin didn't like him. And also that guy, dude, whatever. And, maybe there was a couple more, the Iranians, I don't know, they tried to make a deal, stuff like that. But, the big issue is, nobody wants to talk to this guy, Trump. And see, I remember somebody saying that you have to get along with people. You have to be peaceful. You have to be respectful. And these are mandates. Because even also I noticed that this guy Trump, somebody in the audience stood up and asked him about being a Christian. And then, you're supposed to be a Christian. Oh, it wasn't him, it was a congressman, and these people are protesting. And he asked about the Christian issues. And see, again, I agree that this is happening. Because these people, these Republicans, they call themselves Christians, but look who they hang out with. You understand? It's like they kind of admire this guy. But let's get over this homeless thing right here. See, homelessness. What I've noticed is in the 21st century, homelessness means you have no skills, no money. In a sense, that's right. The truth is, the wealthy really want that money more than the homeless. You see, the homeless people, it's really weird because I didn't really consider myself homeless because, I had a car, I had money, a job, I got a grip. I'm still doing things. I'm waiting for an apartment. People don't want to move out because they don't have money. But nevertheless, homelessness is not what it seems. And this is the honest to God truth, because homelessness is not what it was before. See, we used to call them hobos, and we used to hang out with these guys because they were intelligent people. They chose to ride those rails because they wanted to see the world. I mean, there was a whole crew of these hobo guys, and these dudes had money. I was hanging around with them. I never did no riding with them, but homelessness is not now what you think. Homelessness really means now you have a bunch of mentally disturbed people out in the street, and the Republican Party, especially Ronald Reagan, put these people out in the street. So that's the reason why homelessness really is not what it seems. It really is a cash cow now for the Republican Party. They try to pretend. And the reason why I say this, I say think. Think about this real quick. Okay, 80% of the fundraisers that you see or understand are all these rich people. These are all wealthy people. And guess what? They're giving money to each other. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, I like this song. This is good. Pink Floyd. My man. Always. Since birth. Believe me. Only black guy you know seen Pink Floyd twice in his life. You don't know nobody else. In the meantime, here we go. The wealthy. 80% of these monies, these people are just giving money back and forth to each other. And then they decide to take the big salaries, and then whatever trickles down, you remember that word, trickle down. So here's the deal. For the weak-minded, homelessness will derail their life as easily as we turn off or on a light. Why? Because we have a lot of weak-minded people now, and I say that simply because these are mentally disturbed people. They're unable to concentrate. We have all these people now with all these phobias, and I talked about this a little while back about, why people are afraid. But see, now they have all these phobias. These people have thought of all these classifications. They've put all these things in place in order for people to have ways out, for us to be their guardians, for we to pay through their lives and things. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So, again, it creates an issue. But homelessness is not what it seems. I know I can fix it. But it's to a point now to where those people that are in charge, majority of them are Republicans that are getting the higher salaries. And I mean, some of these people are making more than the president. That's a lot of money. And these are the larger corporations that are supposed to be helping people. Like United Way. Oh, God, can't stand them. Oh, my God. But, never mind. Here we go. One of the things that we have to understand about the homelessness issue, and I'm only reason why I'm speaking on this is because it's happening to me. It happened to me. And I'm well aware of the statistics and how this happens. Because there's a whole undercarriage of people just sitting around making a living off these people's misery. No good and well. They can't think for themselves, but they constantly let them go in order for them to do what they want. Oh, we don't want to interrupt their ability to have a life. But yet, there isn't a time within this period and this period that they've been productive. You're thinking maybe, sure, it'll happen. But see, that's the reason why homelessness is not really homelessness. It's a stage. It's a level. It's kind of like the same level. But you got to remember, the face of homelessness is changing. You see, now I've heard that there are college students that are homeless. Did we ever think about this before? No. We have families now living in their cars. The husband's working, but they don't make enough money. But then again, it may have something to do with some of the illegals that are not having the type of work necessary to move them even in a small measure out of poverty. And then on top of that, you have these other institutions. And I'm going to use HUD as an example. And this is another issue and that I call institutional poverty. HUD had a situation back in the 68 called Section 3. Bad business. tell you about it later. But they are one of the causes. Okay? Because again, look at this. Where did the middle class go? Everybody's saying, wow, where'd the middle class go? What happened to the middle class? They're homeless. Yeah. Everybody wants to ask these questions, but who's coming up with the solutions? I guarantee you isn't these people with these high salaries. I could stop homelessness like that. Yeah. Oh, won't cost no more money than it does right now. And here's what happened. I'll tell you about it later. I did this thing on YouTube called The End of Homelessness as We Know It. I'll tell you about it later. Okay. You see, the issue of the weak-minded is the fact that most people, and the reason why I said earlier is because the wealthy wants this money more than these guys. The poor is because, you see, they don't have ambition. They don't have, I don't say the drive, to get up every day and to struggle and to put themselves in a routine to where say, okay, looking for a job is a job. All these cliches. But you know what I noticed? And I'm going to do this thing too about kids. It broke my mind. One of the things I noticed about my children, and I believe they'll understand, they'll tell you, our dad didn't tell us nothing. He showed us everything. My parents did. My mom and dad were, okay, my dad was, he didn't talk very much. He did everything his sisters and we asked him, but he wasn't a conversationalist, okay? My mother, had a list, checked it twice, doing it bad, won't get another chance. That's just moms. I grew up into that. I didn't have a problem with that. But the problem is, my mom and dad didn't produce weak-minded children. And if you look at the situations as they occur, homelessness has a lot to do with the society's ills. Because look at it again. If you say at some point that a homeless person is homeless because of this, and this, what about the people that don't want, that are being paid? They're getting stipends from retirements, or whether they're pensions or just straight out SSI. But see, these people are getting paid, but for some reason or another, they can't seem to obtain permanent residence. And here's the other issue that I wrote down. And once an unstable environment becomes a lifestyle, and this is it, and this is the reason why I'm telling you, an unstable environment, and this goes for the children too, and that's why a lot of the people are in their cars and things. But this unstable environment creates anger and envy. Okay? Now think about that. I'm mad because I'm homeless. Something happened in these circumstances. I'm upset. It's someone else's fault. And in most instances it was. For me it was. I was working every day trying to do something because I'm waiting for somebody else to do this apartment. I'm waiting for these people to get kicked out. Okay? I don't have that problem though. I never blamed anybody for nothing. I blamed God for making me black in the United States. But never mind, I'm moving. In the meantime, you have to look at this issue of, okay, if you're going to be unstable and you're going to be angry and you're going to be envious of people because they're not in your situation, which is, envy is a bad thing. It's not good at all. Between the anger and the envy, these things become the new norm for the homeless. They believe that at some point or other, okay, I'm mad and it's your fault. I'm going to be angry and I'm envy these guys. So now life becomes anger and envy. Then you have radical issues that come into place. Now you got people mad. They want to retaliate. They want to blow shit up. Now you're mad. Now you got crime everywhere. Why? Because you're being treated so badly. And to tell you the truth, I do again blame these millionaires. These billionaires. You don't need this much money. I don't care what nobody says. In all instances, anybody can live in the United States for $250,000 a year comfortably. 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 I mean, comfortably. should I say comfortably again? $250,000. As a matter of fact, I have something for that. I will explain that later. Here's the issue. Homelessness comes from a lack of contentment as well. You see, because the one thing about being homeless is the fact that at some point or another, you entered into a situation that you were unsatisfied with. So you reached out or you did something that created this vacuum. Now there's no home. And I understand that. But really, contentment, and this is my advice, contentment should be your step, your number one step before you plan anything. Be content, be alive, be thankful, be grateful that you have a chance to plan your way out of poverty, out of homelessness. I did. And I was really kind of glad to. Just like I was glad when I went to prison. People don't think that that's important, but it was an eye opener. And I'm glad I was homeless because now I can do this. I can speak. I can have the experience needed in order to say that I can help anybody homeless. Matter of fact, I can help somebody homeless better than anybody that has a PhD, DDD, BBB, or whatever you got. Because I'm going to tell you something, you people, I'm sorry, but you learn the wrong things. You see, and I'm going to explain that too. See, there's a difference between education and gifts. See, when you have a gift, you don't need an education. Do you think I got a gift? But I'm wondering why this can't be solved. Why this can't be an issue that can be exemplified, can be admired. So let's look at it like this. Let's get this over with. I have a plan that's for homelessness. And like I said earlier, it's on YouTube. I went through this crowdfunding thing, and I'm thinking that, seeing as how nobody's watching this, probably won't work very well. But what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to go and look at some of the philanthropy people. And see if I can, spark up a conversation about being able to end homelessness. I know I can do it. Why? Because I don't see it the way you see it. I don't see it the way the city or the county or the state or the federal government see it. Because in actuality, the federal government kind of created this situation by throwing a bunch of people out. Now you got crazy people everywhere. It's rough even catching the bus anymore. You got crazy people everywhere. And this also will cause problems. On the last note, because of the fact that all of these protests and things are going on because of this president, because of the other issues of deportation and some of these other things, I need to let everybody know right now, you're doing this very, very wrong. You're protesting when it actually should be acting. Homelessness is a situation where people can take portions. But see, the problem is you have a bunch of greedy people in charge. It'll never start as long as these people put themselves first before the very people that they're hurting. I was at this one shelter over in Napa. Man, this dude here, man, he talked so bad to everybody, I had to stand up in front of him and said, check this out, man. I don't know who, what, when, where you came from, but I'll make more money than you do. Right now. I'm making more money than you do on unemployment. How you come stout like that, partner? How you gonna mad mug me? Or anybody else in this room? Because what? That little, what? $12 you making? What? Come on, bruh. But he gonna badmouth. But he lost his job, so it's no big thing. So people, please, understand. Oh, and if you got any money, oh, well, that's right, you're not listening anyway. Don't go to YouTube and don't put no money into crowdfunding.